Hi there, we're back at the Mass Energy Summit and we're joined by Rob Howe, the president of Sustainavation. And Rob's company, Sustainavation, helps clients as they make this transition, a hopefully very welcome transition to going green. And Sustainavation is part of the larger part of Meridian Associates, so we're going to talk to Rob about how he works with his clients and allows them to not only help the environment but save some dollars on their bottom line. Rob.
Thank you. Absolutely. What we do is we help companies look at sustainability as a positive thing, not as a negative thing. A lot of people historically have thought of the green direction, environmental direction as being negative for business. It's not. And there's a lot of federal and state money behind this effort to go with solar, go with wind, make your buildings more energy efficient. So those are the kinds of things that we're helping businesses do today.
Now, Rob, when you meet a client and they're trying to decide which direction they're going to go in terms of the sustainables, which, do they want to do a combination of several? Do they want to do one? How does the process look like? Are you able to almost hold their hand for companies who really don't understand what going green means? Or do you find your clients come to you and they have some idea of what they want to do and you're more of a guide or a roadmap for them? How does that work?
Well, we actually do both. As a consulting firm, our goal is to look at an organization. Say it's a college. We're working with a college now on developing a carbon action plan. How is this college going to reduce its greenhouse gas emissions? So there's a combination of wind that we're going to help them with. We're going to help them change their commuting, the way their students commute. We're going to help them work with the public transportation authority. We're going to help them with the recycling programs, increasing recycling rates. And we're going to help them save money in the process by reducing where their energy comes from, from dirty energy to clean energy. They're actually going to be putting solar panels on the roof. So it's those sort of things that we want to help guide an organization to look at as positive. And the key is that there's a payback. A company has to see, or an organization has to see, that this is positive for them financially.
And I find it so interesting, Rob, that it's also not only infrastructure and sort of mechanical things that they may have to do as they make this shift, as this wonderful transition to going green, but it's also behavioral changes. So as a consulting firm, are you really helping them understand sort of what they look to in the case of the college as their students, their commute, what's that looking like? And also, it almost sounds to me that you're seeing less resistance and folks wanting to be more excited about reaching out to a company like yours.
Absolutely, and I can honestly say in the past 6 months we've seen a swing in the direction we'd like to see it. And that means that people really do see this as an important thing that this country needs to do, and each of us need to do our own part. And that's organizations saying that, well, maybe I need to help my students get ready to be trained for green jobs. Or my company needs to start offsetting its greenhouse gas emissions. So what we do is, ideally, behind the technology, there needs to be a training or an educational component, because you're right. All the technology in the world is not going to solve all of our problems. I can have a thermostat and set it at 70 degrees, but the next person that comes in will change the thermostat because they want it warmer. It's those kinds of issues. If we don't train people what they do on a day-to-day basis in their companies and at home, if we don't train them how to think of the big picture, we're not going to get where we need to go. So we are definitely focused on education, helping people shift their behavior towards being greener and saving money for their organizations.
And Rob, tell us how a potential organization or a client or a small business or a large business for that matter would reach you and make initial contact with you to come in for a preliminary consultation. How does that all work?
Well, absolutely. Our telephone number is 978-299-0447. You can ask for Rob Howe. And what we would do is come and meet with you and take a look at your facility, tour your facility, potentially look at your waste bills, your energy bills, your water bills, and find trends where we would see that there is actually waste in how you operate as an organization. And then we would put a proposal together and give you a sense as to how we'd approach saving you money and cutting your resource use.
Well, that sounds wonderful. Thank you so much, Rob, for the work you're doing, not only to protect our environment and to be a good steward, but certainly to save people some money and reduce their bottom, make sure that their expenditures are not anything that's out of control. And I think when folks realize that the two are not mutually exclusive, it creates a really good place. So thanks, Rob. Take care.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I'm joined by Jonathan Markey, who is a senior project manager for Meridian Associates, and he's going to tell us a little bit about how he works with his customers and with his clients to help them do what they do better?
Hi, thanks, Chris. I'm a senior project manager at Meridian Associates. Typically, my clients are municipalities, and we have some private clients. But what I do at the firm is I do feasibility, permitting, and design of commercial-scale wind turbines. These turbines are built to help offset electrical costs to the customers. And there are a lot of incentives out there right now for the development of wind, both from the state and federal, in the form of tax incentives and grant monies from the state.
And it's interesting, here in Shrewsbury, I'm a town meeting member, and I know we follow our municipal budgeting process very strongly, so we're always suggesting about alternative energy, especially wind. How do the municipalities reach you? I know they know about Meridian Associates, but how do you reach out to them and have them look into your portfolio of the things you can do? Because obviously a wind turbine is quite a big undertaking, and they need your guidance and your consulting and your project management to help them through, not only to understand the process and make a decision, but to implement it as well.
Right. Typically, the town has a renewable energy task force or a green team that I would meet with initially. And then after those meetings, we would find out different ways of how we could implement our services for the town and come up with a business plan.
And how do, when you meet with these green teams, are they ready with questions for you, or they really need a lot of education about the process, or does it vary from municipality? Some have done a little bit front-loaded research on and feasibility, or is it something that you have to lay out for them so they understand it?
It typically starts off with a presentation. I'll give a presentation, and it will generate questions that can't actually be answered in one session, so they'll invite me back. They'll come up with a list of questions over the week or month. Then we go over, whatever issues they've brought up.
And site determination. I've heard the rumor that it has to be on this very, very tall mountain. I know that's not true. Tell us why.
No, coastal wind is very good. Yeah, on top of hills is good too. But yeah, that's a site assessment that we would do for the city to determine where the best locations are, what city-owned locations, and the highest elevations, or if they're coastal.
Sure. So you also help them decide, in terms of the land that they own, what would be the best place, based on your analysis and calculations of the ability to get something going and really produce some wind up there. I know in Shrewsbury we have some sites that we're looking at, so hopefully we'll be contacting you soon. But Jonathan, what do you think about Meridian Associates makes you special? I know you have a really, really high-level consulting team that can handhold folks from start to finish, but also tell us a little bit about that project management expertise and your suite of services in terms of getting people off the ground in different renewables. Speak to that a bit.
Okay. I think that what Meridian has to offer is Meridian's actually a multidisciplinary firm. I'm a civil engineer. I'm a professional engineer in Massachusetts, in New Hampshire, Rhode Island, and Maine. But we come from civil engineers, we have landscape architects, we have 3D laser scanning teams, and we also do sustainability consulting, as well as land surveying. So, we can pretty much handle every aspect of the wind turbine project, except for, maybe the foundation design. We would sub that out, or the electrical design. But everything else is handled in-house.
So your clients can really feel confident that you are going to manage the project soup to nuts, and they will be offered that guidance as they work through it, from the feasibility, site determination, through the implementation, and they can be confident that they're going to have a partner in this and that you'll see them through to the end. So that's terrific. Jonathan, it was great talking to you.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you so much.